What's up everyone, and welcome to the channel. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you may have seen that I bought a drone. I bought it really specifically to do aerial footage of my Hellcat. However, I've also used it to do a couple of other things, harass my dogs, take some video of snowfalls and just random crap like that. So what I wanted to do today was just kind of go over, what drone I bought, real high level of the application that it uses to control the drone, and then just some of my thoughts and some things that I've noticed, and the several times that I've used the drone from the perspective of usability and that kind of stuff. So the drone that I bought is called the Yuneec Breeze 4K. I actually got it from Walmart on Black Friday. They were supposedly, doing a Black Friday sale, but ironically, I noticed even as late as December 22nd, they still had it listed on their website for the price that I got it for. So I don't know if that's become the new standard price on Walmart, or whether, after Christmas it'll go back to normal price. Either way, the normal price of the drone is $299, depending on where you buy it from. It might come with 2 batteries. This particular package at Walmart actually came with the drone and a Bluetooth controller. They do recommend a specific Bluetooth controller. That's the one that actually comes with that package. Whether it'll work with other Bluetooth controllers, I don't know. I've not tried it with other ones, so I really have no insight to that. But for this particular controller, it works very well. Providing you can get the controller to pair to the device that the app is running on. I had some problems with that initially. It paired with my tablet fine, but it wouldn't pair with my phone correctly. So eventually I did get that to work, so it seems to be okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and open up the drone. This is the case that it comes in. It's actually a pretty nice case, hard plastic, nice and small. I don't know, you're not going to be able to gauge that from the camera, but here is a roll of paper towels, so you can see the box is smaller than a roll of paper towels is tall, so kind of gives you an idea of what the dimensions of the box are. It's kind of a little goofy to open it up. You got to press in that tab, and then kind of pull up. You hear the click there. And then this is what the case looks like when you open it up. I did purchase an extra battery from Walmart while I was there. I will tell you that I've priced these batteries. These are the actual official batteries that come with the drone. I can tell you that in looking at these prices online, Walmart is the cheapest that I have been able to find. Getting the actual factory, the original battery. There might be aftermarket batteries that work and that are cheaper, but for the one that comes with it, an exact match, Walmart seems to be the cheapest place to get that. So in the box you get the battery. You can actually see I have the 2 batteries in the box with the drone. So you get the drone, the battery. This is a package of extra propeller blades. A nice little pack there. You actually get a box that comes with the books and general instructions. I don't actually have that with me because I've already used the drone. It comes with the propeller guards that sit nicely inside the case. So everything that you need to fly, except for the controller, and the controller is not necessary to fly. You can fly this with your phone, a tablet, whatever the case may be. But everything you need for the drone part of it is in this case. Like I said, everything fits in here nicely. You can see 2 batteries actually do fit in the case as long as you put one in the drone. I would not push this all the way forward so that you're not doing any kind of trickle draining of the battery because it's connected in the drone. But as long as you keep it out like this, the battery doesn't have any kind of discharge on it. So you can get 2 batteries, extra propeller blades if you need them, the guards, and the drone in this case, and that's it, everything you need. So with that, I'll go ahead and take this out and show you how the drone sets up real quick. So basically the drone has foldable legs. So fold the legs out. An interesting side note, these pieces of plastic actually come out. I crashed this thing and actually did not realize that 2 of these pieces had come out until after I went to put it away, because I continued to fly it after the crash. When I went to put it away and fold the legs over, I realized, wow, there's 2 of these things missing. So I went back to where the crash was, because luckily it was in my backyard, so I was able to find the pieces, and they just kind of snapped back in. But the thing to note, and I don't know that you'll be able to see it through this, but there are in one of these legs, or at least the one leg that actually had the plastic come off, there's one of the sensors. I'm not sure which sensor it is. I don't know if it's part of the sensors that help it stay, stable in flight, or whatever the case may be. But if you ever knock these things off, make sure you check. Make sure that you lay the sensor, if it's the one with the sensor, make sure you lay the sensor back in correctly before you close that, because, again, like I said, I'm not sure what sensor it is, but I would imagine if you don't get it in there correctly, it could cause this thing not to fly right. But once you get that done, I'm not going to put all these on, since this is just to show you how it works, but I don't know if you can see this, but there are little lips and little clips there, and then you can see on the drone itself there's a little notch there. So basically the lips go on the top, and then you just snap it on one side, and then it's on. So I mean, that's pretty much it. It does provide enough clearance for the blades to rotate around. Another interesting thing is I was practicing one of the modes of how this flies, and I'll talk about that when I show you the app. But I was practicing one of the modes that this thing flies with, and I wasn't paying attention, and it kind of went into a tree. The guards were on. One guard popped completely off, but the branches of the tree actually went up through the other guard, and the thing was literally hanging, like this, out of the tree. So these things do stay on pretty well. To get them off, I just basically grab one corner and then just try to pop that lip out, and then it comes right off. Okay, so that's basically setting the drone up for the point of getting it ready to fly. Of course, obviously you have to push the batteries in. This particular drone actually comes with onboard storage. I believe it's 16 gigs. It's all on board. There's no micro SD cards that need to be bought. The one thing that does present as a challenge is getting the footage off the drone. The app allows you to download it directly from the drone to whatever app or whatever device the app is running on. There's also a little rubber door here that if you open it up, you can see there's actually a USB port in there. You're supposed to be able to plug this thing directly into a computer using a USB cable and get the drone footage that way. I've tried it, didn't work the way I expected it to. I don't know if it's an issue that the computer didn't recognize it properly or whatever the case may be. I can't say that it's not that it doesn't work. I just didn't spend a lot of time screwing around with it on my particular computer. So I've been pulling it off, the footage off the drone down to the device that I'm using, to do the control that you're running the app on, tablet, phone, whatever the case may be, and then just getting the footage off of that. So, like I said, it's not that I can't say that doesn't work. It's just that it didn't work for me, and I didn't want to play around with getting it to work. So, once you've got the drone ready and, you've got your guards on, if that's what you choose to do, then, you just push the battery in, and the on and off switch on this thing is back here. When you turn this on, you have to hold it in for, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds. I'm not sure the exact number. And after you do that, it will actually cycle through some colors as it's booting the drone up. And then once it's ready to connect to a Wi-Fi source, I believe it changes to a green or a blue color. It starts flashing red, and then after it's ready to connect, it changes to, like I said, either a blue or a green. The other thing to note is this drone does have sensors on the bottom, and what I've noticed is I've grabbed it sometimes on the bottom, and of course, then you get grease and stuff on there, so I try to make sure that these stay clean. these sensors it uses to gauge how high off of an object it is, because as part of the app you program how high you want it to hover on takeoff. So these sensors are helping it, you know, determine how far above the ground it is or whatever. That's one of the cool things about this particular drone. While it doesn't have obstacle avoidance like some of the DJI Spark, some of the DJI drones have, it does at least have the ability to maintain a constant height off of the ground. You know, one of the other things you program in the application is the height that you want it to fly at if it has to return to home. So again, you know, it uses those sensors on the bottom to kind of gauge, you know, how far off the ground it is, so it can do some of those operations. My experience has been, if you have, you know, where you're flying it or whatever you're trying to do, if you have the ability to sit down at a table, or even, you know, a small snack tray, or whatever the case may be, I have found that the best way to fly this is using a tablet as kind of your view from the perspective of looking through the camera of the drone, and using the actual Bluetooth controller that I'm going to show you to actually do the flying part. I've done it with a phone, and when you do the phone, depending on the sun, you know, the day conditions, if you're in bright sunlight, you know, depending on the quality of your phone and the screen ability of your phone, you might not be able to see the screen that well. That's actually why I bought a set of the reality, you know, virtual reality kind of goggles to use for that kind of scenario. I'll show you those as well. But, you know, if you can sit down, have a tablet displayed, and you can be sitting and looking at the tablet and using the controller, me personally, I have found that is, you know, the best way that I have had for flying the thing. Now, of course, I've been playing video games for the better part of, you know, 30 years. So with that being said, you know, I'm probably just more comfortable with the controller. When you see the controller, you know, the controller looks pretty much like an Xbox controller, you know, any standard, you know, current gaming console, Xbox, PS4, PS3, whatever the case may be. It's kind of a, you know, standard type of gaming controller. You know, for people that are, you know, used to using their phones for, you know, even playing, you know, games and stuff like that, maybe they might be more comfortable using their phone to fly it. The mode I've been using the most is the controller mode. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and get the controller out. Like I said, this actually comes with the kit from Walmart. This case does not come with it. I'll put a link to this case on the descriptions of the video. So what comes in the kit is the controller and then this mounting piece for your phone. So, you know, anybody that's played an Xbox, you can see this is pretty much the equivalent of an Xbox controller. I mean, it's even got the triggers and the bumpers. You know, even the lettering A, B, X, Y. I mean, that's the Xbox, you know, lettering configuration. I'm not sure, you know, why it's specific to that. I don't know. I don't think it really makes much of a difference. So this comes in the kit, the controller itself, and then this thing for holding the phone. You know, it took me a while to figure this little number out here. I thought push meant to push this down in to click it, but it actually means to push this. It releases that. So then you just basically wrap that around. Let's see here. So then you put that, and then it locks it in place. And then that's basically it. Like I said, you put your cell phone in here, and then that kind of stretches up, so you can see it will allow for a fairly large phone to be put in there. There is a USB, this actually has a built-in battery, so there is a USB charging port. I don't know if you'll be able to see that right there. So this charges through just a standard micro USB cable. I'm going to show you real quick how it looks with the phone in the controller. So basically, you just kind of grab that and then push that. You can actually rotate or unscrew these two things, and it actually allows this whole thing to hinge up and down. So depending on how you want to hold it, whether you want to, you know, your angle that you want to see your phone at, you can adjust this piece to, you know, to reflect that. It said my personal preference on using this is definitely with the tablet and the controller. The one thing I don't like about the drone so far is the fact that the only way to use the controller is in free flight mode. You know, I really wish that you were able to actually you know, go into, say, the orbit mode or the selfie mode or whatever the case may be, and do some of the pre-configuration using the controller. I have found that this is way easier to use to fly than trying to use the on-screen controls. I think they should update the app, the firmware, whatever needs to be updated, to allow the controller to work in all of these modes, so that you can do all of the pre-positioning, all of that stuff of the drone for these individual modes with the controller, and then, you know, have it do what it wants to do. I don't know if maybe they figure, you know, most people, you know, especially if you're doing a follow me, you know, you're gonna, you know, do the settings on the phone, and you're gonna put the phone in the pocket, and then the thing's just gonna follow you. You know, with using it to do, you know, using the controller to do that, you got to figure out what to do with the controller. And, you know, obviously if some people are doing, you know, kind of action type of things, you're not going to want to try to stuff the controller in your pocket or whatever the case may be. I mean, maybe there's some reason as to why they've done it that way. It just seems to me that it's a shortcoming in that it's a little bit more difficult to me to control the drone with just the on-screen controls.